As we celebrate Cattlemen to Cattlemen tonight, we also wanted to celebrate the leadership of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Volunteer producer leaders take the reins of the organization and lead the way in making NCBA a powerful voice for all in the cattle industry. And as Matt Fleck reports, one of those strong leaders from the past was a Florida producer who shattered a number of barriers back in 1985.
Joanne Smith grew up on a Florida cattle operation and married a Florida cattleman. Today, she still enjoys watching her son Marty and her grandchildren working cattle on the Smith Brothers operation in Wakahuta, Florida.
We are one of those families that settled here. The grandchildren are the sixth generation here on the same place. And of course, it's evolved over time.
We're primarily a cattle and timber operation. This ranch has been here since the 1850s. And throughout that time has always been involved with cattle and timber, and that's what we continue to do today.
Joanne Smith's legacy in the cattle industry extends far beyond the fence lines of the family operation in North Florida. In 1985, Joanne became the first female president of the National Cattlemen.
Now, this was a total shock to many cattlemen, I'm sure, to have a female woman from the South be president of the association. I was approached in the early 80s to consider running for president of the National Cattlemen. And I will never forget, my husband said, that's silly because you will never be elected. And I was stubborn enough to really consider it, to take it under consideration. It was interesting that a group of men, a group of cattlemen and feeders came to me and said, it's time for a woman, and we think that woman is you. You should try it. We want to see you put your name in the hat, and we'll back you.
Joanne had a tough road because the 1980s were not the best of times. Beef's image as a healthy food choice took a major hit in the media, and consumers began turning away from beef.
1985 was a very difficult time. I always said it was awful to get off of an airplane, go into a meeting, and be met with some of your buddies saying that a mutual friend had lost their operation because prices were so bad, and they just could not make it. You really become a spokesman who have multitudes of issues to talk to various groups about, whether it's public lands, whether it's exports, whether it's imports, the list goes on and on. One of the top lessons that I learned is to be prepared. The other thing I learned is you can't win a battle by yourself. You have to have other people. Whether it's an organization, whether it's other friends, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's church, I don't care if it's, NCBA. You have to have a coalition of people working with you. That I learned.
As the National Cattlemen's president, Joanne helped press for increased U.S. beef exports to Japan, and she led the charge to create the National Beef Checkoff. In 1986, she became the first chairman of the Beef Board.
What have we been able to do? I think over time it's proven itself. Consumer demand has risen. We're providing the consumer with the product that she wants now or he wants.
After leading the Beef Checkoff, Joanne Smith went on to the USDA, serving as an assistant secretary. With all her experiences, she has built a legacy of leadership within the beef cattle industry, something her family has learned from.
Just to always be proud of yourself and take pride in what you do. Just always keep upbeat and happy.
She did things that, when you go back and look at the timing of when she did what she did, it was, she was out there by herself. And we all learned a lot from her. I think my daughter learned how to speak publicly at age 3 months. Just very proud of her.
It really is, tremendous experience and tremendous education being exposed to all of the things that she did and went through.
Joanne Smith is one of the most wonderful, smart individuals I've ever met. She's, for a mother-in-law, she is the best ever, but I always have admired her because she just, her thinking about life is that you have to give back. You always want to put forth your best effort. Take pride in yourself, take pride and what you do, but make sure too that you're giving back, not just to the land, but to your community.
Joanne still keeps up with key cattle industry issues, including the fight against the death tax, but she most enjoys seeing the family cattle business carrying on for a 6th generation.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud that the kids are very interested, like this place, like to be here. You know, there's nothing more warm and enjoyable than seeing your grandchildren be a part of it, whether it's putting out feed, whether it's riding and looking at the animals, and that's really what life is all about.
From Wakahuta, Florida, I'm Matt Fleck, reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Joanne Smith is one of a long line of talented leaders that the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has been honored to have at the helm. Join cattlemen and women just like Joanne as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Call us now at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us at beefusa.org.